Hey guys, so I want to tell you about something that happened to me, which um, I personally found quite shocking and extremely relevant to current news and also what we can anticipate happening as we are moving further and further into the end times. So I'll set it up. I do most of my shopping online, and I'm in my 30s, guys. I'm 36, and I have watched this steady decline of like clothing quality since, I was a much younger person, and it's just hard to find clothing that is like decent quality and cute and whatever, da da da. So I do a lot of my shopping online on Amazon, and I rely really heavily on other people's reviews to see if something's worth buying, right? Because we know there's a lot of junk out there, and if we can, avoid buying it, that's better. But I occasionally will leave reviews if I'm really impressed with an item that I bought or something is terrible, whatever. And I've had the same Amazon account for probably over 10 years, and I haven't had any problems until yesterday when I went and I had gotten a new sweater and it was really cute and I liked it and I wanted to leave a good review. And when I went to try to write a review, it wouldn't let me. And it took me to like this page with like this red writing of saying that I had basically violated community standards, and that all my past reviews over this course of like 10 years had been deleted, and I was going to be disabled from writing reviews going forward, not able to write reviews anymore. And I was like, what? Like, all I ever do is leave reviews for like clothing items, just not controversial stuff. And I mean, supplements, I get a lot of supplements online to manage my autoimmune conditions, and can just keep me going. But I was like, this has got to be a mistake. So I followed the instructions. I tried calling them, and of course, you can't talk to a human being. It's all automated. It's a robot. It's incredibly frustrating. I just ended up hanging up. I followed the instructions online. I sent an email. And I'm sorry, this has been a couple of days now, but they haven't gotten back to me. And I'm like, this is just the weirdest thing. I don't know why. I mean, I've been like a good customer for like 10 years. I've never done anything remotely controversial that I could see how my account would be flagged and they would delete, I don't know, maybe 100 reviews that I've written over the years, reviews that other people found helpful. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm just whatever. And then I remembered today, I was like, oh my gosh, a couple weeks ago, I had been scrolling on Amazon looking at women's bras. And I saw one that looked promising. Again, I do most of my shopping online, and I read the reviews. And one of the reviews was from a man, a middle aged man, who had reviewed this woman's bra, and he included pictures of himself. And I'm talking like the hairy chest, the whole bit. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a little bit weird. And I went to his profile, and you can see all the reviews he's done. And most of his reviews were for women's undergarments and like women's underwear, you get the idea, including pictures. And I'm like, this is really gross. This is perversion. And really, like, before everyone lost their minds, this would obviously be, not okay. This is this man's kink. It's exhibitionism if he wants to buy women's underwear and wear them, I don't really care. You know what? I believe in personal freedom and whatever. I don't really care. But the fact that he's taking pictures of himself wearing women's undergarments and uploading them onto a site that really shouldn't have this kind of material like Amazon, well, I'm not trying to look for anything racy. I'm just trying to shop. I don't want to see pictures of a man stuffed into women's, undergarments. Like this is his kink. He's getting off on this, uploading pictures of himself wearing, it's perversion. And so I reported it as such. And instead of them saying, yeah, this is perversion, which anyone in their right mind would think, they sided with him, and then they silenced me and took away my ability. They basically took away my voice, is what they did. And again, this has become a long history of society and culture siding with trans rights, men who want to pretend that they are women at the expense of women. And I'm like, okay, say, you have a 13-year-old daughter who's looking for a bra or underwear, and she comes across a picture of a man's stuff stuffed into, women's underwear while she's reading reviews. It's sick. It's not right. And it's like increasingly society, they're calling good evil and evil good. And there's been tons of, stories I've heard about since they've allowed, men who just happen to supposedly identify as women to have free reign into women's locker rooms and bathrooms. There have been sexual assaults. There's been perverts exposing themselves to children. And I'm like, we see society in a complete, just moral free fall. And the fact that these big tech giants, they have a monopoly on the market like Amazon, and they've driven smaller mom and pop retailers out of business because they can't match the prices. So we become reliant on them. And then they are policing our sense of morality and punishing us. And if you don't think that this isn't going to get worse, you frankly have your head in the sand. This is Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum dream, is that you will own nothing. And what you will do is you'll go online and you'll say, I need this. And then the state will lend it to you. And if you think that that won't be dependent on some sort of social economic or social status score, where you're towing the line, you are not expressing any sense of morality that violates their perversion that is masquerading as morality nowadays. You're absolutely going to be cut off if you're not falling in line, you're not falling in lockstep. And the writing is on the wall, guys. They are getting away with, they're just marching this agenda forward. And we saw that PayPal just saw a huge, just public outcry, rightly so, that they were going to punish, I'm assuming, people who hold moral conservative views and express their own opinions on the narrative. And honestly, what we see now by these big tech companies being labeled as misinformation, 98% of it is true, is absolutely true. They are lying to us. They are doing everything they can to silence anyone that's speaking out and just speaking out against the blatant lies that are just, oh, just. So we see exactly where this is going, and it's just nuts. It's nuts, and they are advancing this agenda like never before. It's like this wild locomotive steam engine just barreling forward. And I just this morning saw a statistic that between 2020 and 2022, there was a 70% increase in children identifying as trans. And guys, if that is not a sign of the times, I don't know what is. So we see that all of this is happening. This is just one, like I'm talking about the big tech companies and the heavy-handed censorship that we've been seeing, apparently now even with Amazon. And they're so powerful that they get us dependent on them, and then they absolutely will punish us if we don't just go along with their satanic narrative. And pretty soon they're going to consolidate their power, working together with people like Schwab and Bill Gates to just absolutely crush the little people, crush the opposition, crush people that hold to traditional biblical standards of morality, of right and wrong, good and evil. But because we see this happening, we just know that we are so close to the rapture. And I absolutely think that what we're seeing, especially with big tech and the AI technologies that are emerging, everything that they've managed to do with this heavily planned health crisis that's been going on now for 2.5 years, it has all been to bring about this end times scenario, worldwide scene. And big tech is absolutely going to be pivotal in the mark of the beast and the oppression and the control and the censorship to an even greater degree. And just we see it happening right now, so we know we're so close. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to share my story, what happened. Just feeling like it's very relevant right now, and I hope you guys are all doing well and keeping your eyes fixed on Jesus. He is our hope. He is our only hope, but he is a true hope, and he is coming back to get us soon and very soon. I love you guys. Bye.